Hello and welcome to another video. This one is all about my writing desk. I put a lot of pictures on my Instagram all about my writing desk. I find it a really cozy space to write, so I thought I'd do a little tour and show you the sort of things I like to have around me as I write. I did a video about my writing desk, and that was when we were living in our old house, and in that video I was talking about how I set up my desk for better writing posture. And on that desk I had a riser, I had a separate keyboard from my laptop, and I had a monitor. Now this might have been really good for my posture, but it wasn't actually that good for my productivity. I didn't feel inspired with that desk setup. So I decided to change it when I moved to our new house. Now, when we first moved into this house, there wasn't carpet on this floor. It was basically a kind of white floorboard thing, and it didn't feel very cozy in here. So we put carpet down, and it's made a huge difference. I've had lots of questions about my desk, about where I bought it from and whether they could get something similar. My desk is actually a kitchen table that I got from an antique shop about 7 years ago, and I've had a love-hate relationship with it. At one point I really liked it, and then when I did my desk setup at my old house, I had lots of technology on here and I didn't like it at all, so I swapped it for our dining room table and put this one in our dining room, and I used that for a while. But again, it turned out it wasn't the actual desk or the table, it was how I had it set up. It just didn't feel like a productive writing space. So when we moved here, I decided to do things differently. I've taken all technology off my desk other than my laptop and my iPhone, and I only store things on my desk that is to do with my writing business. And by that, what I mean is I don't have anything to do with the house, for example, on this desk. I don't have home bills that needs paying. I don't have anything to do with my children's school, you know, all that kind of admin stuff that needs to be sorted out. At my old house, that always used to land on my desk, and I would put it to one side on my desk thinking I'll get round to that at some point, and it would constantly sit there. That just doesn't make for a very productive space. So what I've done is taken everything off that doesn't need to be there, and I've put them in some IKEA shelves that are behind me, and then anything that's to do with home or family, organisation or bills or school is now out of my office, and I am currently setting up a smaller space in the dining room for things like that, but it's not allowed to be in here. So first things first, I have a MacBook. So if we take the MacBook away, and then we can see in more detail what is on my desk. I have a number of pictures behind my desk, and these are all of my own pictures from my Instagram. I did a video last week all about how I stopped losing followers on Instagram, and part of the reason for this is because I have changed the sorts of things I photograph. Mainly now it is pictures of my desk, but in the past I would do pictures of eggs. I would do an open notebook and have a picture of a tree made out of petals. I've decided that I'm no longer going to do pictures like that on Instagram because it takes up far too much of my time and takes me away from my main goal, which is to write, to be published and make a career out of writing. This is all of my work for my novel, and in this pile I have my index cards that I've done a video about as well, that I'm currently working on and adding to. I've got my novel moleskin hardback book that I've got details of the outline and characters and things like that. I mean, if you've seen any of my other videos, you will be familiar with all these things. But this is my outline based on Sarah Cannon's sheets that you can print off from her website that I filled in. This is an old draft. And then I've got other versions of index cards with ideas in. I've written things like inciting event and things like that when I was doing it previously. And then I've got an even older draft. And then I've got another notebook with old plans and outlines in. And then underneath there I've got my chapter breakdown, which you can see in my previous videos all about my novel writing process. So that is all my novel stuff, and I keep that all together on my desk. I don't put it away on shelving, I have it there all the time so that I can just grab it if I have a spare hour. Okay, next to all of my novel information is a couple of plants. So we'll just move these out of the way. These two books here are research for my novel, and I've also got a selection of blank index cards there too. I have on here some photos that I took, and these have been put together by a company called PicMotion and made into bookmarks that are then sold throughout Europe, I believe. And it's the same for, this is one of my ducklings from when I used to keep ducks, and I took a photo for Instagram, and again I sold that to PicMotion, and they make postcards out of it, or they make greetings cards out of them as well. I keep these here. Oh, and I've also got these little magnets as well. And again, like I say, they are sold throughout Europe and give me a little income twice a year. In my little chest of drawers, we have a number of things. So, for example, in this drawer, we have washi tape. My collection is very small. That's all the washi tape that I have. In the drawer above, I have all of my clips, and this could be little animal clips like so. And I also have your normal bulldog clips, as well as coloured, nice coloured clips. So they stay in that drawer. The bottom right, I have all my post-it notes, and I've got the small post-it notes that I use for my task post-it board, and then I've got bigger ones that I write bigger notes on that I put within my notebooks. And then on the top here I have an external hard drive that I use for all my YouTube videos, and then I've got my camera memory cards. So I've got another plant on the top there, and then we have basically a great big pile of notebooks. Here at the back we have a selection of notebooks. Some of them are currently in use, and some of them are old ones that I like to keep there because I refer to them every now and again. And then we have this Filofax. I dug this out of a box the other day when I had a bit of an office cleanup, and I thought this would be useful, so I've put that there ready to use when I think of a use for it. Here I've got my two Le Mans notebooks that I use for planning out my work, and these are ones that are completely filled in that I've used in the last year. And then I've got other notebooks here that I've referred to in my notebook video a few weeks ago. This one is for another novel idea that I've got. This one is where I make notes about Instagram. This one is my traveller's notebook that I put all of my Instagram photos in. I'm using it as a kind of scrapbook memento thing. I've got some notebooks that I dug out of my box when I was unpacking, and I thought, oh, I want to go through what I've written in there and have a little look. So I just kept them there to remind me to get to them at some point, because some of what's in there might be useful for my non-fiction book idea that I have got. And you'll notice that I put them in with the spines away from me, and that's because I like to see the paper. It's just a little quirk of mine, I guess. Then we have 3 more piles of notebooks. The ones at the back, just there, are notebooks, again, that I found when I was going through my boxes, and I thought I need to go through them at some point. And then the one near the top is one that was bought for me for my birthday the other day. I like the idea of being surrounded by paper, so I think that's why I keep them there as well. They're my favourite notebooks that I refound, if you like, after unpacking all of the boxes, and ones that I have partially started and would like to remind myself of what I've written in there. Now, these 2 piles, that one and this one, are ones that are actually being used at this moment. This pile is pretty much made up of Leuchtturm 1917 soft cover notebooks, and this is the berry one, I think this is ice blue, another blue one, darker blue, and the orange, and these are all in use at the moment. This one, the berry one and the orange one, is for my YouTube. The darker blue is the one I use for my essays and for my non-fiction book proposal. And I bought myself the ice blue one because I thought I'm writing so much in the dark blue one, it's going to fill up pretty soon. So I didn't want to run out while I was busy in the depths of writing this proposal. Now, on the top, we've got 2 mugs. I've had this one for quite a few years, and it's appeared in so many of my Instagram photographs. I like to have a pile of crayons on my desk. I find them very useful for my planning, and I like to shade in different areas. And then this one has chickens on for obvious reasons. Well, it's not obvious if you're new to my channel, but in the past I used to keep lots and lots of chickens and ducks, and so my love for chickens is still there. It's not gone just because I don't keep them anymore. And this is a Sophie Allport mug, and it's a little bit cracked. So instead of throwing it away after it was cracked and I couldn't use it for drinks anymore, I kept it on my desk. And I've also got my paper clips in there as well. And the pens that I like to write with, I like my pink Lamy, and I often put in purple ink in there, although that's currently run out, so I'm having to use black. Then I like these, are you getting into focus? Pilot liquid ink ones, and they have a nice fine nib, and I like to have them in all sorted colours. So I've got them in green, red, blue, and there's a couple of black ones in there as well. I've also got these ones which are Uniball, and they're fine, but the nibs aren't fine enough for really nice writing. They're just that little bit thicker than I like to write with. So they are all there in my mug of pens. In the past, I would often keep mugs of pens even though the pens had run out, or I didn't actually like writing with that pen, and I would have a collection of all sorts of rubbish pens on my desk, and I would hunt and hunt for decent ones. Now I've actually bought the pens that I like, and they stay there for as long as my daughter doesn't come upstairs and pinch them, because she's got very similar tastes to myself. Then on the top of these Leuchtturm notebooks, we have 2 new notebooks. we have the Rhodia. I did an IGTV of this notebook, of unpacking this notebook the other day. And then I have another Le Mans notebook. This, however, is a blue one with a blue spine, and it is lined paper rather than the gridded paper that I've used with the brown notebooks that I've got. Then in this corner we have another selection of notebooks. This is the notebook I use to write all my home tasks in. Things often occur to me while I'm at my desk, so I keep this on standby so I can just write it down and then forget about it while I carry on writing. But no, it's there so that I can come back to it at a later stage. This is another Le Mans notebook, and this is my current one that I'm using for all of my planning. So this is week beginning 11th of November, that's this week, and that's got all of my tasks that I would like to do this week in. I also have my daily journal. I just pretty much write anything in there and I carry that around with me wherever I go. This is the current book I'm reading for research for my novel, and this is a Moleskine daily planner that I am currently using. And then this text is a copy of my October essay that I am currently in the process of editing. My lamp is from John Lewis, although I don't believe they sell that lamp any longer. And then here in the far corner is my editorial calendar for my YouTube videos, so I know what is going to happen when. Then just to the side of my desk, because I don't have anywhere to put it just yet, I have my tech. So I have things like, there's a light there, I've got a little selfie ring light in that box, I've got my little printer for my Instagram photos in there, and I've got a couple of mini tripods. So it's all that sort of thing. Basically, I didn't want it on my desk. I wanted it in boxes out of the way, and eventually I'll have some sort of unit there so I can just slot it all in. So this is where my desk is positioned in my room. It's a bit of an awkward shaped room. We've got the sloping ceilings and we've got the chimney breast to work around. And I could probably make better use of this space if I had fitted units, but I do like this desk. Like I say, it was an old kitchen table that I bought from an antique store. I think I was just attracted to the blue legs, if I'm completely honest. But now, well, it's been on a bit of a journey with me. So yeah, it's a really lovely place to sit, and I think it helps being surrounded by notebooks, by a few plants, by my crayons and my pens, and having my little chest of drawers with everything that I need, like my washi tape and my clips and things like that. And then on my chair I've got a cushion for comfort, and I've got my little cheapo cardigan that I use to keep me warm when I come up here. So that's the tour of my writing desk. I hope you enjoyed that. Do come over to Instagram to follow me over there, where I post pictures of my desk pretty much every day. Don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up. That's lots of things to do, isn't it? But I would appreciate each and every one, however many you do. And yes, I'll see you next week for another video. Bye for now. Bye.